Many dream of winning a major poker title. But falling short of that dream is a painful reality for most. Maria Konikova's quest for another trophy is over. The fairy tale mother and son story came to an abrupt end for the Olshans. And online qualifier Glediby Brito finally cashed out. With just 24 remaining, the cream has risen to the top. One of the world's elite tournament players leads the way. And two former champs are eyeing the prospect of a second main event title. The best in the business are ready for action. With more than $4 million in prize money still to be won at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure. Hello once again, welcome to the Bahamas and the PCA 2018 main event as day 4 continues here at the Atlantis Resort and Casino on Paradise Island. It's James Hartigan with Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies.
Joe, just 24 players remain. Are you willing to pick a winner yet?
Yeah, I think I got to go with David Peters. I think he's the most due player left in the field, and also he's a man after my own heart. He likes to party, he likes to drink. When he's not at the felt, he's behind the velvet rope, bebopping and scotting, and that's why he's my pick, and I'm renaming him V.I. Peters.
V.I. Peters, I almost like it. He's going to take a seat at our main feature table. Other big names still in with a shot include Adrian Mateos and Liv Boeree, both eyeing that elusive second title. While Maria Lampropoulou is looking for her second major score in 9 months. But it's Peters who leads the way, Joe. He's got a stack of over 2 million. The second biggest stack at the feature table is Alexander Milayev, who's playing 697K. We've got a couple of shorties. John Tabor and Jack Sinclair are both in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Now, all the biggest poker personalities have nicknames. Kid Poker, Texas Dolly, the Poker Brat, the Unabomber, and V.I. Peters. He may not be the most colourful character at the tables, but behind that steely demeanour is one of the game's most consistent performers.
I think pretty shortly after I started playing, I knew I had a knack for it. I knew I could handle it. I knew I could get to that level of being at that top level in a pretty quick time frame. Yeah, I'm just going to play my game, just try and be as focused as possible and pick up all the information I can and try to use that to my full advantage and just play my game.
He's joined at the feature table by another player with a string of results. 2015 Monte Carlo champ, Adrian Mateos.
I play poker for over 5 years, so I play a lot and I play every day. For me, it's not really hard to play like 10 hours straight or 9 hours straight. I'm really used to, so for me it's fine. I think that I'm really good at launch session. I concentrate all the time. So.
Liv Boeree is the other former champ still in the hunt. And there's plenty of other talented players worth drawing attention to. Jonathan West and Corey Aldemir, to name just two. And let's not forget the online qualifiers, who are also looking for poker glory. "24 players remain by the end of day 4. We should be down to 16, the final 2 tables. Blinds right now are 5,000, 10,000 with a 1,000 ante.
AKA when the real poker starts.
Action has been folded to David Peters. Under the gun +1, he has 10-9 suited.
D. Peters with the suited 10-neener.
He raises to 23,000. Patrick Potarek from Poland has Ace-Jack.
Clearly Ace-Jack is ahead of some of Peters' range, but against one of the best players in the world, I'd seriously consider folding this.
Well, he re-raises. It's a 3-bet to 73,000. Milayev is out. Jack Sinclair passes. John Atiba folds. Cream and Mateos give up the blinds.
This ain't exactly a big re-raise, and Ace-Jack ain't exactly a hand you're trying to trap with.
Peters calls the re-raise out of position. Heads up to the flop. Jack 7-4, top pair for Potarek. A gut shot for Peters.
I don't think Peters is expecting Potterack to have a lot of jacks here. Overpairs, maybe.
Playing in flow, checks to the pre-flop aggressor, and Potterack continues for 50K.
Potterack does not pot a check. Peters getting better than 4-1.
Potterack has 215K behind. Well, Peters check raises enough to put Potterack all in. Potterack calls and is a 3-1 favorite to double up.
You better pot a check yourself before you pot a wreck yourself.
Peters needs an 8 to make a straight. The turn card is a 10. Peters picks up additional outs. 9s and 10s working for him in addition to the 8s. The river card is a 3. Potterack gets the double up.
Can't tell if that's an irk smirk or a smug mug.
Peters still a big stack with close to 1.7 million. Well, let's head over to the outer table where there is an all-in and a call. Corey Aldemir has ace-king and is racing against Sean Buchanan with jacks. Sean's slightly ahead, but he is the at-risk player.
Bucky, the Winter Soldier.
The flop is ace-high. Aldemir takes the lead.
When an ace hits the flop like a flaming hot mob, that's a Corey.
The turn card is a 4. We will lose Sean Buchanan in 24th place unless there is a jack on the river. Boom, 2 outer.
Who was that?
Buchanan doubles up to $500,000. A small hit to Aldemir's stack, still playing 1.56 million. And over to the secondary feature table now. Maria Lampropoulou has raised pre and been called by Liv Boeree in the big blind. 9-7 for Liv, ace-6 for Maria.
Nearly a flip if we see all 5 cards.
The flop is king 6-3, a pair for Lampropoulou.
Maria already had the best hand, and now she can be more confident in it.
Boeree checks. Here comes a continuation bet of 24,000.
And let's face it, she was betting either way.
Boeree folds. Maria Lampropoulou chipping up to 559,000. Liv Boeree with a similar size stack, 600K.
She might look frustrated, but she's probably just thinking about the particles of the dawn of time.
The chip leader at the secondary feature table is Jonathan West, currently playing 1.26 million.
Cool.
And he is third in chips overall. We have got 6 players with 7-figure stacks. West sits behind Corey Aldemir with 1.56 million, and David Peters, who has 1.74 million, a 145 big blind stack. Well, 2 of the other players in the top 10 are Christian Rudolph and Oleg Titov. And Titov has 3-bet Rudolph pre-flop.
I enjoy Oleg Titov and his collection of shirts that are made from curtains of the 1970s.
Rudolph opened under the gun to 26K. Titov has made it 85K. Rudolph folds. And Titov shows ace-king.
And I can't tell if he's happy or mad about it. Where do I know this guy from? It's killing me.
There is something familiar about his face. Oleg Titov now has close to 1.2 million. And we're heading back to the main feature table. Blinds are 6-12. Action will be on Jean Ateba. He folds. Helio Cream is out. Pocket 7s for Adrian Mateos. And he raises to 26,000. A fold from Daniel Kupel. David Peters passes. Ace 4 of clubs for Patrick Potterack. Nah. Alexander Malayev is in the small blind. He also folds ace-4. Jack Sinclair with jack-8 in the big.
Jack's all like, all right, I'll do it.
He defends. Heads up to the flop. Sinclair the effective stack with 99k behind. And there is a 7. Mateos flops a set. Sinclair checks.
You know what I say? Always bet your sets.
Check.
Adrian Mateos checks behind. You going to argue with him?
Nope.
9 on the turn. Gut shot for Sinclair. Checks the second time. Mateos checks again.
It actually makes sense. He's never folding for what Jack's got behind. Might as well let him catch up.
He does catch up. Pairs his 8 on the river.
This is very, very bad for Jack.
Looks like he's going to lead. $27,000, leaving himself $72,000 behind.
Yeah, it's like a third of his remaining stack.
Mateos shoves on him.
Now Jack has invested a lot of his chips in this pot. 72,000 to win a lot. And Adrian is a very aggressive player, but I just don't ever think he's bluffing here. For Jack's tournament life.
He calls all in, and he's out.
This tournament is now Sans Sinclair.
He's our 24th place finisher.
Again.
Adrian Mateos now up to 695k. While Jack Sinclair will collect $33,000.
I guess it really is always coming 7.
That's it, Joe. That's why we recognize Christian Rudolph, Barcelona 2014. He's the guy who said it's always coming 7.
Huh?
We made a meme out of it.
7! 7! 7! Every time the 7 is coming.
Christian Rudolph is 7's guy.
This is how I felt at the end of The Usual Suspects. Now, before the break here at PCA 2018, James and I finally got to the bottom of the mystery surrounding this man, Christian Rudolph. But I think it probably still needs a little explanation. Back in Barcelona 2014, a dude named Andre Letao and his pals were a bit obsessed with the number 7.
7!
And this, well, it became a thing.
7! 7! 7! Every time the 7 is coming.
Everyone out there who's confused by the German guy screaming, can you raise your hand? Anyone who's confused by that, what happened in the middle there? It is always coming 7. Have you ever heard us say that before on the broadcast? If you haven't, this may explain some of it for you.
7 is actually interesting because we have some flipping games and stuff. If you're sitting around and just going to a restaurant and something, we have to pay the checks and stuff and the bills. And there we have to play some flipping games, and every time the 7 is coming, so it's kind of insider, so like the 7 is always coming.
You may have more questions now than you did before we played the clip. Is that the case for you possibly, Maria?
Yeah, I mean, one of my questions is, who knew Germans had a sense of humor?
Well, I'm not really even sure that was a joke. I think that this man was very legitimately trying to explain the fact, if I could paraphrase a little bit, that he and his friends had an inside joke that it was always coming 7 in Credit Card Roulette and various other games they were playing. And 7's guy did a very bad job of explaining that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but that's where all of that comes from, if you guys didn't know, up until this point. And of course, 7's guy still alive in this tournament. And we caught up with Christian to see if he's still all about the 7s.
I believe in the mighty 7s. This is the year of the 7. Last year was the year of the 6s, and there's a famous player who believes in some numbers, like C. Darwin, who thinks the 6 is a mighty number, so he had a good year, and I believe this is a good year for me.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Maria. You will both be thrilled to hear that Sevens Guy is currently 7th in chips. David Peters is currently chip leader ahead of Adelpha Morales and Corey Aldemir. Well, let's head to the outer table where there's four-way action on the turn. Rudolph, Titov, Faro, and Ponce.
De Leon, he's my third favorite explorer.
The flop is 5-3 deuce. Action check to Titov. It was the pre-flop raiser. He continues for 75,000. Faro calls. Ponce folds. Action now on Sevens Guy. Aren't you happy that we finally solved the mystery, Joe?
I am happy. I'm just sad he can't make it 77,000.
Well, instead he makes it 275,000.
All right, there's a 7 in there. So after a bet and a call, I would take this raise pretty seriously. Titov does.
What about Faro?
This is why I didn't want to overcall that.
Yep,
He folds as well.
heard that.
Nice spot.
A good spot for Rudolph and a decent pot. Chips up to 1.22 million.
But the average is 759,130.
We're really forcing it now. Let's head back to the main stage. 23 players remaining, blind 6-12. Action on online qualifier Daniel Kupel.
What are you whispering about, Adrian? Care to share it with the rest of us?
Kupel folds under the gun. David Peters has king-queen and raises to 27,000. Potorek is out, as is Malayev. Janatiba passes. Elio Cream gives up the small blind. Adrian Mateos defends his big blind with Jack 10.
Sure, standard. Very standard with the old Hack 10.
The flop is ace, jack 6. Second pair for Mateos. A gut shot for Peters. Action checked to Peters, and this is a continuation bet of 22,000.
Mateos has got to stick around for at least one bet. We know V.I. Peters doesn't need an ace to raise pre-flop.
There's the call. The turn card. It's the ace of diamonds pairing the board.
Not a good card for Peters.
Mateos checks a second time. And no second barrel from Peters. He checks behind. 8 of diamonds on the river.
Adrian left with a nice little bluff catcher.
He checks. And Peters checks. Showdown.
No need for catching.
The jack is good. Mateos adds 67k to his stack. He is now playing 655,000, slightly below average. Well, in 2015, Adrian Mateos became the first Spanish player to win a European Poker Tour title, cashing for over 1 million euros. And its victory was secured in no small part by an impressive bluff against Johnny Lodden.
I make a huge bluff with Jack 10 of spades when we are 400 in the EPT Monte Carlo and the final table against Johnny Lodden. All in.
And the chip leader shoves on Lodden.
I thought at that time that is the best decision to go all in, and that works, so it's really nice for me.
Johnny folds. Mateos shows a bluff, jack high.
Oh, you didn't have to show it. Man, I had forgotten he showed it. I also forgot it was him that made that bluff. I also forgot I've ever been to Monaco.
Frighteningly, this might not be a bit. Over at the secondary feature table, Maria Lampropoulou has re-raised Lucas Blanco.
Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
All in.
He shoves with fives.
This is for Maria's tournament life, but you're never getting away from ace-king suited after putting in a 3-bet. Not with that stack.
She calls, and we're off to the races. Maria at risk and slightly behind.
Like Carlito's Way versus Donnie Brasco, one of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
The flop is king high. Maria takes the lead and is now set for the double up.
Right in the window.
The turn card is a 7.
So hard for 5s to recover from that.
Blanco needs a 5. But it's a blank. Oh.
Oh, that was rough.
He loses most of his chips in that coup, as Maria Lampropoulou doubles up to 982,000.
Oh, so good to win a flip, I assume.
So still 23 players remaining as we head back to the main stage. Action will be on Patrick Potarek. He folds. Alexander Melayev has kings.
Is it just me, or do you want his name to be Milky Kev? Those K's there. Milky Kev raises.
He makes it 28,000. Folded to the blinds. Daniel Kupel passes. Okay, Joe, let's not show David Peters cards. Let's play against Peters and sweat with Alexander.
Sweat with Milky Kev? You got it. Sounds gross, though.
The flop is 7-6-3.
OMG, I'm finally going to beat David Peters in a pot.
Action check to the pre-flop aggressor. Melayev happy to continue on this low board. Makes it 40,000.
No ace. We're good. Can't see it, but I'm bebopping my head because I'm so happy about beating David Peters here.
He calls the continuation bet. This hand going to the turn,
Probably has like a pair.
which is the 5 of clubs. The board just got a little bit straight here.
Oh, geez.
Oh, how are you feeling about this, Joe?
Not good. Not going to lie, not good.
Peters leads turn for 70,000.
Obviously, we can't fold now, but I am not looking forward to the river.
There's the call from Melayev. 296,000 in the middle. The river card is a jack.
He's going to lead at us twice. Don't. No, don't. Oh, God.
He's doing it. 140,000.
I really don't know what to do here. I know, no, I think David Peters would bet twice if he didn't have a straight. I'm not so sure he would bet twice if he did have a straight. So I guess that means we should call. Yes, call. Final answer, Milky Kev, call.
So many weird combos Peters could have in the big blind.
I think he's trying to bluff us off exactly kings.
Melayev does not like it.
I don't like it either, but they're not my chips.
He folds kings.
Oh, boy.
And it was a good fold. 2 pair for Peters.
He did have it. Turns out we were losing to things other than straights.
Melayev manages to hold on to 391K.
Great fold, Milky Kev.
David Peters is now moved over the 2 million mark.
He's so good. How does he do it?
Well, what is happening at our secondary feature table? Action is on Liv Boeree, who is facing a raise and a call. The action was started by Florian Maurer, who opened with pocket 7s. Christian Banz has called with ace-5 suited.
Oh, yeah, top bands.
And Liv has ace-king.
She's in great shape against the ace-5. Not so hot against the 7. 7 with at least one ace gone.
She re-raises a 3-bet to 115,000. Lucas Blanco wakes up with jacks in the big blind.
Well, James, I'll see you at the river.
He shoves for his last 381K. Action back on Maurer. He folds. Bands is out.
Cool.
Liv calls.
Well, she's doing just about the same against the jacks as she was against the sevens.
Blanco, a 6-4 favorite with 5 cards to come. He's the at-risk player here. Oh, wow, they've done it to him again. King on the flop.
No expression from him. Totally Blanco.
He needs a jack on the river, or he's our 23rd place finisher. The river card is a deuce.
Nice handling. I folded an ace.
Liv Boeree KOs Lucas Blanco. He loses 2 flips, and now he's out.
Got him.
Okay, I'll leave him. Okay.
I've got a Blanco space in 23rd place, baby, and I'll write your name.
22 players remain as we come to the end of the level. The players will take a short break, and then we'll be back with more action from the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018 main event. Welcome back to the Bahamas here at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018 main event. The players are returning from break. We're down to 22, and David Peters still holds a commanding chip lead. He and Adelpha Morales are the monster stacks. Interestingly, even though Liv Boeree and Adrian Mateos are in the top 10, neither has 50 big blinds. And the blinds right now are 8,000, 16,000 with a 2,000 ante.
My favorite thing about David Peters is how he's always dressed as if leisure could break out at any time.
He has 7s here and raises under the gun +1 to 36,000. 9-10 for Patrick Potterack.
No.
He heard you. Fold it around to Helio Cream.
How much?
36.
Cool.
He's in with Queen Jack of Diamonds in the small blind. Adrian Mateos calls from the big blind with 5-4 off.
Did you know shreem is one of the main ingredients in a plumbus?
The flop is 10-9-7, a set for Peters. An open-ended straight draw for Cream.
The 7, it is always coming.
Action checked to D. Peters.
Please tell me you bet 77,000.
Your wish has been granted.
I love it. Look at him.
Oh,
Wow, Cream's going for it.
Why not?
Call.
call.
David Peters snap calls.
Peters is just so good. He's always got it.
Cream needs a king or an 8.
There's 8 total cards he can hit. That's a lot.
A 29% chance of survival. A deuce on the turn. Down to 20% equity. A king or an 8 still needed. The river is a 6.
Look at him.
Helio just got creamed.
The cream did not rise to the top. Yes, we know those jokes are corny. Creamed corny.
I love it. He cashes out for just over $38,000, and David Peters is now playing a stack of more than $2.6 million. Well, he is one of the top players in the game today. He currently sits in the top 15 on the all-time money list. He final tabled Prague just over 12 months ago, and his second ever live result occurred here in the Bahamas all the way back in 2007.
Yeah, PCA is nice. I mean, we're in the Bahamas, nice weather. That's a good way to start the year. I mean, a lot of big tournaments, a lot of good fields. It's just a great vibe and a lot great energy. A lot of people make the stop, so you kind of have a ton of friends here and to hang out with and stuff like that. So yeah, I love the PCA. In Prague, it was another one of those tournaments where I was chipping up well the whole tournament, had a big chip lead for a while, and
that's Peters done for.
Yeah, I ended up getting third in that, which is kind of interesting because I needed top 3 to win Player of the Year. Overall, it was a nice way to end that year.
Dee Peters on yet another one of his classic deep heaters.
Down to 21 players in the PCA main event. Action of the feature table will be on Patrick Potarek.
Hey, Pat. What's up?
He folds. Malayev is out, as is Ateba. Adrian Mateos has ace-8 on the button.
On the button for sure.
Makes it 35,000. Daniel Kupel, the Canadian farmer, folds the small blind. 5-3 off for David Peters in the big blind. He calls.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
The flop is 9-6 deuce. That's a gut shot for Peters. Mateos still ahead with ace high. With the action checked to him, he continues to 35,000.
So James mentioned the gut shot. His pairs could be and are live. And there's always him just floating here and winning the pot with pure, unchecked, unbridled tracksuit aggression.
Peters calls. The turn card is the deuce of diamonds. Mateos now better than a 3-1 favorite. Peters checks. And Mateos says, deal that river card, which is the 4 of hearts. That's the straight for Peters.
He's too good. It's not fair.
There's 160,000 in the middle.
Peters is going to leaders.
And he's counting out what looks like an overbet. That's huge. 275,000. A quick fold from Mateos.
Didn't Peters have 5-3 when he cracked Milky Kev's kings earlier, too?
Yes, he did. Well done, Joe. You remembered something.
Mm-hmm.
David Peters now has 2.7 million.
Who?
And we are heading over to the secondary feature table where action's on Maria Lampropoulou. She's got aces.
Oh, yeah. What timing?
She's facing a raise from Bartosz Stasiewicz. He opened with Queen 10 of diamonds.
Sorry, dude.
This looks like a re-raise. Yep, 107,000.
Understandable.
Christian Banz has ace-king in the small blind.
Wow, this just keeps getting better and better for Maria.
Banz has moved all in. Livbury has folded the big blind. Stasiewicz also folds. Lampropoulou calls.
Yeah.
On their backs.
Wow. Of course, of course.
It me.
Banz at risk and way behind. After the flop, just a 1% chance of survival. Running cards needed.
That'll just about do it.
The turn card is a 9. He's drawing dead. Out in 21st place.
Nice work, Yoko. You broke up the bands.
Good luck.
Christian cashes for $38,380.
Too much.
Such a killer.
Up to 1.78 million. And there's been another elimination at the outer table. Say goodbye to Vladimir Anoshka.
Goodbye, Vladimir Anoshka.
$44,000 for his 20th place finish. He was KO'd by Corey Aldemir. He's now playing 1.45 million. Let's go back to the main feature table. Action will be on Adrian Mateos. He's under the gun. And he folds. Daniel Kupel is out. David Peters has ace-10 in the hijack. He raises to 36,000. Potarek with king 10. Thinking about it.
He's made all the right tight folds so far.
And he continues to make good folds. Alexander Melayev has pocket eights and a short stack.
Well, if his pocket kings couldn't hold against D. Peters, I fear for Milky Kev with pocket eights.
He shoves from the button. Michael Farrow's just joined the feature table. He folds the small blind. A Tabor in the big. Also mucks. Action back on Peters. And he's probably priced in here. Yep, he calls.
Not Peters again.
Let's flip that coin.
Like an aquamarine polyester tracksuit versus a purple velvet tracksuit. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
The flop is ace high, and David Peters takes the lead in this race.
Looking like Peters has got him again.
Melayev with 2 outs. He needs an 8 on the river, or he's out.
I like to think of it as 2 full house draws.
The river card is a 6.
Good game.
We lose Alexander Melayev.
If you can't handle Milky Kev at his pocket kings, then you don't deserve Milky Kev at his pocket eights.
Looks like ace 10's the hand to play around here.
Yeah, I know.
Melayev, our 19th place finisher. And David Peters closing in on the 3 million mark.
V.I. Peters strikes again.
And another KO.
Seat open.
We've just lost Brian Ponce, meaning we are down to 17 players. One step closer to the final table, one step closer to crowning a champion. Remember, the winner of this tournament receives $1 million and a platinum pass. Free entry to next year's Players' Championship, which is set to be the biggest 25K event in poker history. There are opportunities live and online for you to win your seat to this event. Find out how at PokerStars. Here at the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure 2018, it took us a whole level to lose 2 players, with Brit Jack Sinclair hitting the rail, and fellow Brit Liv Boeree knocking out Lucas Blanco. Then 5 went in rapid succession.
Good game.
Now, we're just 1 elimination away from the final 2 tables and the end of play for day 4. And we've got action at the outer table. It's Christian Rudolph versus Oleg Titov. Action checked to Titov.
Titov looking teed off as usual.
We have a 10-8-6 board with 2 hearts. A bet of 50,000. Now will 7's guy respond?
7's not a terrible hand here.
Oh, it's a check raise to 162,000.
Not sure it's a hand you check raise with. Maybe he's back to being 6's guy.
All in.
That was quick. Titov has ace high.
What he had?
Rudolph tables the nuts.
9-7. Oh my God.
Titov drawing incredibly thin, and it's over on the turn. Rudolph will double up
with a 7.
How was possible?
You're the one who got it in with ace high, pal.
Ante up for him, please. Ante up.
Christian Rudolph now has 1.2 million.
It is always coming. 7, 9, 6, 10, 8.
Back to the main feature table. Blinds are currently 8,000, 16,000. Action will be on Jean Tabor. He folds. Pocket jacks for Adrian Mateos. He raises to 35,000.
Good old hacks.
Pocket threes for Daniel Kupel.
What are you going to do, bee stung Miles Teller?
He folds. Round to Patrick Potarek in the small blind, who's got ace-queen.
I smell a flip. You smell that? It smells flippy in here.
A shove for 435,000. Action back on Mateos, who snap calls.
Let's flip.
Hacks, I believe they're called. Pocket hacks.
Potarek is the player at risk, and he's slightly behind.
Anything with an ace has been lucky.
Yeah.
Not now, Kupel.
If Mateos loses this race, he'll be left with a 15 big blind stack. The flop is all diamonds.
That's a sweat. That's fun. Come on.
Potarek has the ace of diamonds.
Some diamonds. Yeah. Jack of diamonds, I take it.
That's a lot of outs.
Okay, 4. I take a 4.
Now he's picked up chop outs as well.
He's keeping his ask reasonable. I like it.
The river is an ace.
Oh,
That is how you ask for it.
Potarek hits on the river and gets the double up through Mateos. Down to 246,000. Most of Mateos' chips sliding across the table to Patrick Potarek, who now has close to an average stack. Meanwhile, it is all kicking off at the secondary feature table, Kings versus Queens.
Oh no, sick cooler alert.
Maria Lampropoulou was the original raiser. Liv Boeree re-raised. And now, Maria, who is a commanding favorite, has to decide how to respond to Liv's 3-bet.
That is a 4-bet on its way.
She re-raises to 200,000.
My guess is, much like Thelma and Louise, neither of these ladies is getting away.
An intense stare from Liv Boeree, studying her opponent.
All in.
She moves all in. And Lampropoulou calls. And there is an 80% chance that Liv Boeree is going to bust in 17th place.
Very, very sick cooler.
And I just fold.
You know, everyone's going to think that, but Maria's very aggressive. Not sure how you can.
An ace, jack, jack flop. 2 outs for Liv Boeree. She needs a queen on the river to survive. It's another ace.
Good luck, everyone.
Liv Boeree is out in 17th place. KO'd by Maria Lampropoulou.
She does not seem to be taking much enjoyment out of it.
Liv cashes for just shy of $50,000. And Maria Lampropoulou is now one of the chip leaders as day 4 of the PCA 2018 main event draws to a close. We are down to the final 2 tables.
I'm just so mad at myself because I knew it. I chose the worst of the 3 options. Obviously, the best option is fold. The second best option is call. And the worst option is to go all in when your read is out strong on someone. And I chose that one. And I should know better than that. There were enough signs telegraphed at me that I should, and I didn't do it. Yeah, I mean, that's the game. And I just felt this one, you know?
The final 16 of this prestigious 10K event, headlined by David Peters with a stack of 3 million. Maria Lampropoulou sits in second with 2.3 million. Christian Rudolph is also in the top half of the leaderboard, while the last remaining EPT champion, Adrian Mateos, sits at the very bottom with just 15 big blinds. He's at risk, as are Ateba, Maura, Corian, and Kupel. Next time, can anyone dethrone D. Peters?
All in.
All in.
Call.
Or will his reign continue?